REITs versus physical real estate sounds like a finance debate, but really it's a question about what kind of investor you actually want to be. And the answer might completely flip everything you thought you knew about building wealth through property. Let's set the stage. Over the last 50 years, equity REITs have returned an average of roughly 11 to 12% annually, which puts them neck and neck or even slightly ahead of the S&P 500. Meanwhile, physical real estate appreciation historically averages around 4% per year before you factor in rent, income, leverage, maintenance, and your 3 a.m. calls about a broken water heater. Here's where the story gets interesting. Because raw return numbers are almost meaningless without context, like comparing a sprinter to a marathon runner and only measuring the first 100 meters. REITs give you liquidity, diversification, and passive income with zero landlord headaches, while physical property gives you leverage, tax advantages, and the psychological comfort of something you can actually touch and drive past. The early 2000s saw a massive wave of everyday Americans buying rental properties like it was a second job. And honestly, for a lot of them, it was. Then, 2008 happened, and suddenly, the can't-lose physical real estate thesis looked a lot more fragile than the glossy seminars had promised. REITs, ironically, got crushed in that same crash, down nearly 70% at their worst, proving that no vehicle is immune when panic takes the wheel. But here's the twist. Both REITs and physical property recovered, and the investors who held through the chaos came out significantly wealthier on the other side. Psychologically, owning a physical property feels safer because your brain registers it as real, you can see it, rent it, improve it. But that emotional attachment is also your biggest liability because it causes you to hold bad properties too long, over-improve them, and ignore true return on investment calculations. A common misconception is that REITs are just fake real estate for people who couldn't afford the real thing. That's like saying index funds are fake stocks for people who couldn't pick winners. REITs own hospitals, data centers, cell towers, warehouses, and shopping malls at a scale no individual investor could ever replicate with a checkbook. Now let's talk leverage, because this is where physical property makes its most compelling argument. When you put 20% down on a $500,000 property, you're controlling the full asset. And if it appreciates 10% and you've made $50,000 on a $100,000 investment, which is a 50% cash-on-cash return before expenses. REITs can't replicate that leverage effect directly in your hands, though they do use debt internally at the corporate level. But what REITs offer in return is something equally powerful, the ability to be fully invested, fully diversified, and fully liquid without a single tenant, contractor, or zoning board ever entering your life. History suggests the smartest investors don't actually pick a side, they use both, treating physical property as a leveraged, active investment and REITs as a passive, compounding engine running quietly in the background. The real enemy isn't REITs versus property, it's inaction, emotional decision-making, and concentrating too much of your net worth in a single illiquid asset you can't exit quickly. Practically speaking, if you're starting out with limited capital, REITs let you build real estate exposure immediately without waiting years to save a down payment. If you have the capital, the temperament, and the systems to manage physical property, the leverage and tax benefits, depreciation, cost segregation, the 1031 exchange are genuinely difficult to replicate through any other vehicle. The disciplined move is to size both positions appropriately. Never bet your entire financial life on one duplex or one REIT sector, because concentration is where wealth quietly goes to die. Process, patience, and position size will always matter more than being perfectly right about which vehicle theoretically wins. At the end of the day, the best investment is the one you'll actually hold through downturns, manage without panic, and stay consistent with for decades, because time in the market, whether physical or paper real estate, is the only edge that's never stopped working. Be honest about your bandwidth, your capital, and your temperament before you ever pick a vehicle. Whether the market corrects, interest rates spike, or cap rates compress, the prepared investor sleeps fine because they've built a strategy that doesn't depend on perfect conditions to survive. Rational preparation beats confident prediction every single time. And if you're ready to stop debating and start building, whether through real estate investing, home contracting projects, or finding the right lenders, check out our links in the description below.